Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where today I'm playing for the very first time with Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. I don't know how to pronounce these, but I think it's pronounced Land, Eld, and Is. Don't know. If you want to see how I did this eyeshadow look, then don't go anywhere. If you're new here, hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I really love color, and I think eyeshadow is lots of fun to play with and a very fun creative expression, so I like to combine those two interests into multiple video uploads a week. It's all eyeshadow related. If you want to see try to get ready with me's tutorials, YouTuber tags, if you're interested in that sort of thing, you'll find it here. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell before you leave. And now, without further ado, let's get into this eyeshadow look. I'm really excited to play with this palette. This is the Nomad Iceland Fire and Ice palette. I think that this one's quite an interesting color story. It's been ranked pretty high in all of the Nomad ranking videos that I've seen, and I think the color story is really cool. Today, I have a bit of a problem, which is that I want to play with all the colors. So what I think I'm going to do is put some of these gray tones in the crease and like blue on the lid, and then I think I'll put the purple and green in my lower lash line. It's a tentative plan. I'm not fully decided yet. I'll figure it out as I go, but first I'm going to prime my eyes using the Glamlight Icing Primer. I'm just going to start with a medium blending brush. I'm going to do a wash of color my crease. I'm taking the shade Odin, and I apologize for all mispronunciations that will happen in this video. I do not speak any Scandinavian languages, so yeah, there's that. That's darker than I thought. Okay. I had a subscriber recently mention that, well, they asked where I was from because of the way that I pronounce the Udensai names. And I said, well, I'm American. My accent is kind of a mix of my ancestry, which is French-speaking Canada, and then the various languages that I've studied. I get sort of a weird conglomeration of pronunciation now and then. But overall, I just have an American accent. And the reason that I pronounce the Udensai shadows and names in a particular way is because I do try to be accurate in how I pronounce things. And I've heard Angelica Nyqvist and Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, and Angelica being Swedish, and I think Annette was raised in Finland. I keep forgetting if it was Finland, but I know she was raised in Scandinavia, and both of them pronounce the Udensai names in a particular way. So I just mimic the way that I hear them pronounce things. And that's why I don't pronounce the Udensai stuff the way that most Americans do. And I've heard a lot of different pronunciations across the YouTube board. I just try to pronounce them the way I hear the native speakers pronounce them. So as far as this palette goes, I don't know, we've got a lot of Norse names in here. You guys will have to let me know if you have any idea how these things are pronounced or if you think my pronunciation is close, because I'm simply curious. Now I want to take this dark blue matte. I believe it's called Niflheim. I'm taking it with a dense blending brush from e.l.f. This one's a little bit crescent shaped. It has a bit of a pinch on one side. There's a little gnome in this pan. I bought this secondhand, so some of the imprints are a little bit worn off, but some of them are still there. So here's the shade Niflheim, and I'm placing this just in my outer corner. I'm not sure how dark it's going to lay down, so I just want to be careful with it.
That's a pretty palette.
Just because I want to play with lots of shadows, I'm now going to dip into this black. It's called Dark Castles. I've got a small blending brush for this, and I'm going in really lightly because I don't know what kind of pigment I'll get, but I presume that based on these two colors, I'll get a decent payoff. And I also don't want to make it too dark. I just want to deepen only the outer corner here. Yeah. So this is Dark Castles. So far the shadows are all performing nicely. Now, because I bought this palette secondhand, I don't know how old this one actually is. I mean, for all I know, the seller bought it on release and it's been sitting in their collection for a year. But I believe you can also buy the palette on Nomad's site, and I don't know if that's stock from first production runs or if it's been reproduced a few times. I have no idea. So I don't know how old this palette actually is, but it's performing just fine. Now with a flat shader brush, I'm going into the shade Elves. This one's pretty well used from the previous owner. I'm going to dip into it and then spray the brush. I'm taking Elves, and I'm going to put this on the center of my lid. I think I want to, ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's like a greeny, silvery sort of color. That's cool. I'm going to keep the inner part of the lid open for a lighter shimmer, but that is pretty. It's funny, I came downstairs this morning and my husband was cooking lunch for work. He was cooking venison, like ground venison for tacos. Currently pregnant, and it was like totally stinking up the downstairs. And he's like, this smells amazing. And I'm like, And then I reminded him that he had a half day at work today and he did not require lunch. And he's like, oh yeah, can you put this away? I have to go to work. I'm like, yeah, I'll put it away for you, but it's gonna be a while. That is a really pretty color. It's kind of sheer. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying it's kind of sheer. So I'm dipping back into the pan and adding in a little bit more, just so that it lays down a bit more thickly. Now I'm gonna flip over this brush and grab the shade above it, which is called River Glacier, and I'll spray this one as well. This is a lighter shimmer. I'm gonna lay River Glacier on my inner corner. Yep, that's exactly what I thought it would look like. I'm liking this formula. This is nice. Again, this is the first time I've tried Nomad, so I'm not really surprised. I was expecting to like it based on people's reviews and comments, and I'm enjoying my experience. Now you'll notice I did nothing on the lower lash line, not even in the outer corner, because on the lower lash line I want to put the mint and purple colors. Because both of those colors are shimmers, I'm taking a small flat brush and I'm gonna dip first. Which one do I want in my inner corner? Ooh, I think I'm gonna go mint and purple because the purple will merge with the blue nicely, and that's in the outer corner. So I'm taking this flat brush, going into the mint shade, which is called Northern Lights, and I'm gonna spray my brush. So I'm gonna use this as my inner corner highlight and then drag it on the lower lash line. About halfway. I think halfway sounds good. It's a nice shimmer. So far, everything's performing well. Honestly, I don't even care how old a palette is. Like I said, I don't know how old this one is, like what kind of shelf life it might have already lived. I don't care if the shadows still perform well. I own the Through My Eyes palette, which is a collaboration between ColourPop and I Love Sarahi. And that palette was launched like 3 years ago. Of course, it was, you know, limited edition. So the one I have is definitely a couple of years old, but I don't care because it still performs just fine. This is pretty. This is a pretty shade. Now I'm going to take that same brush and go into the lavender shimmer, which is called, oh, I'm like, isn't that the same name? No, the dark blue matte is called Niflheim. This light purple shimmer is called Alfheim. So I'm dipping into the purple shimmer and again spraying my brush. And this I'm laying where the green ends, and I'm going to drag it out to the outer corner. Sorry if my mirror is in your way. I try to keep it out of the way, but I also need to see. I'm laying this color all the way out to the outer corner and just merging it in with the blue. This one is not as bright as the green, so I'm glad that I laid the green on the inner corner because I like the contrast of light and dark. So I think that this is actually really pretty. This color would be nice over a purple matte. I kind of wish there was a purple matte in here. Oh, you know, we've got this other purple shimmer that's darker. Should we play with that one? What do we think? Why not, right? Same brush, dipping into Valkyries, and I will spray this one as well. Really, I'm just curious to see how this one pays off and how it looks with the other purple shimmer. So I'm going to lay that down in my very outer corner. This one's got some more blue to it, I think. Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a blue duochrome. So I'm putting this in the very outer corner. I mean, it's not bringing much to the purple because they're the same. They're both like mid-tone light shimmers. It is pretty. It would be really pretty by itself as well. It's just when I bring these two shimmery shades to the outer corner, which already has kind of darker and gray toned mattes, they're not showing up great just because of what I'm pairing them with. I'm not saying that there's anything bad about the color selection or the formula. It's simply what I'm putting them with. The green has shown up more because it's a brighter color, but that is pretty much the look. Do I want to add anything else? No, I think that's it. I'm going to choose a waterline color. I'll let you know in a second what it is. Go off camera, finish everything up, and I'll be back in just a moment to show you guys how this looks. All right, guys, here's how the look turned out when it's all said and done. On my waterline, I used 2 different colors. Okay, 3. Technically 3. I put white in the outer corner, and then I overlaid it with the purple shimmer from the palette. So I just took the purple shimmer on just a small brush, and I pulled down my lid a little bit, and I just dabbed that shadow on top of the white. So the white was the base, and then I made it into a metallic purple. And then on my inner corner, I used this shade from ColourPop. This is a creme gel liner, and it's called a Glow. Everything is linked in the description box. Everything is linked in the description box. On my face, I'm wearing this Très Luce blush in the shade Vacation, and then I put on this Nomad highlighter, Kofa Non Moonlight. It's so pretty. I never put on very much highlighter. I think in one of my recent videos, I was like, ooh, I put on this shadow from the palette as a highlighter, and it's this light iridescent green. And then I zoomed in so you guys could see, and I had put on so little that you couldn't actually see anything. It was just this tiny hint that maybe there was a greenish sparkle on my cheekbones. Anyway, I don't like to put on much makeup. Really, it's about the eyes, and everything else just helps the eyes look better. So this is the highlighter that I'm using. This one I know is discontinued, but again, you can find a lot of these things secondhand on Poshmark or Mercari. And on my lips, I'm wearing a NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Eclair. That's everything besides mascara. Oh, no, I did winged eyeliner, and it was disastrous, so don't look too closely at that. Seriously, both sides, hot mess. That is everything. I think the look is really pretty. I'm very pleased that I was able to use every color story within the palette that I wanted to use. I wanted to use the grays, I wanted to use some of the blues, and I wanted to use the mint and the purple, and I did all of that. So I think the look is nice. I'm enjoying the quality of the palette so far. Like, first impressions, no complaints at all. It's really pretty. It's really interesting. It's a cool color story. It's very unique. It reminds me a tiny bit of the Saga Freya Cat's Breath palette from Udenzai, but that one is more bright orange and teal, whereas this one is a bit of a more muted variation on that, but they would probably go together really nicely. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the look. Remember to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye. Hey, you.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Perfect.
Excellent. We'll have an earlier breakfast this morning so you can get some food in your belly. Why don't you put on something warmer? Or you're gonna get cold, I think.
I was just gonna get a blanket.
Oh, there we go. It's this one right there.
Thanks.